Hey, what's up guys? Books Nelson here, back with another video, and today we will be talking about the SHAQ collection and a couple of AfterSHAQ cards that got stuck into the back of the collection. Alright, so guys, right off the bat, I'm letting you know, we called it. We called it. Let's get right into the content. We called it. They did it. I'm going straight to the top. Animations. Ben Shepherd base, one of the best bases in the game, second tier behind T-Mac and Patty Mills, but definitely in there with the Torian Princes of the world, with the JT Thors of the world. That's it, guys. They did it. So now you have, before we even get into the rest of these cards, exactly what we said could possibly happen is that they changed the animations of one of these cards, and the rest of these cards are going to be basically far inferior. So now, even though I understand that SHAQ can play point guard and is easy and cheesy, and listen, a lot of people, you're going to get wins if you pull point guard SHAQ and just run into the paint, overmatch people all the time. But against a skilled opponent, I do not think that that will work. That doesn't make it completely irrelevant. However, what does make the rest of these cards irrelevant is that shooting guard, small forward, those positions, SHAQ is going to be going up against players that he's not going to overpower quite as easily, right? Like if he's going against shooting guard Larry Bird, I don't think he's just going to run into the paint and dunk on Larry Bird super easy with his 99 stats at 6'9", right? So the rest of these cards, I'm not going to say they can't shoot, but oh, whoa, hold on. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Whoa. I just saw something crazy. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, long story short, they did it. They changed the release of one SHAQ, and all of the rest of the SHAQs have a horrible release. So here we are, exactly as we called it. All right, you guys can see here, it's not quite fully loaded in to the database yet because we are bright and early, and we are right into it. So we're going to take it from the bottom to the top, and let's see how many of these cards are loaded in. They're in enough. Okay, so as predicted, this GOAT SHAQ, this Galaxy Opal SHAQ is going to be completely worthless, as was the Larry Bird. We're not going to talk about him and waste any of your time. Can we see this Dorian Finney-Smith? Yes, we can. Okay, so we can go to his animations right off the bat. Ooh, DFS has Steve Francis with Michael Jordan. That's actually really good. This Opal Dorian Finney-Smith. Hopefully these pictures load in soon. Jimmy Butler moving step back is okay. Curry behind the back. So it's funny. So Curry has been relegated to Galaxy Opal tier, while Harden, Halliburton, and obviously Jamal Murray are the Dark Matter tier behind the backs. That's where we are now. Pro crossover. Oh, he's got the De'Aaron Fox crossover. De'Aaron Fox has a good crossover. Yeah, if that's his signature crossover, D-Fox crossover is actually pretty good. Moving Hezzy, he's got the same one Larry Bird has, should be absolutely fine. So yeah, animation-wise, this stuff looks very good. This DFS on very quick. We'll see. I know he didn't have a great release. He didn't have a terrible release. He was a usable card back when he came out, but that was a very long time ago when Tournament Battles DFS came out. Let's look at his stats and badges. So all right, 94-3, which is fantastic. 95 drive and dunk. Great speed, really good strength. He'll get well over that 90 threshold. And yeah, pass accuracy really high. We love that too. Now he is 6'7" at the small forward position. I noticed this is a trend as well, that the undersized small forwards are getting the better animations, which I think is a fine trade. It's funny, his card art isn't in, but the badges are in. That's weird. Badge wise, you're definitely going to give him open looks, blinders, deadeye, MIDI magician, space creator. Yeah, I would say just dump the shooting badges into this card if you do get this card. If you're a DFS fan, if you're a Nets fan, whatever, a Mavericks fan, and you're using this card, or maybe he's just the best small forward you have. Small forwards haven't been necessarily flying out of packs, although we did recently get an excellent, so far as I know, haven't tried the cards yet, Trevor Ariza, PJ Washington. I do have to load that. And Carlo's going on about this Marcus Morris too, so we'll see how Marcus Morris Sr. is as well. That'll be the competition for this DFS card. Of course, those cards are free, and DFS is, You have to pay 100 something MT for him. But yeah, so that's DFS. Let's see. Still no card art loading in, but we will press on. We're going to go to Nick Batum next. Oh, 404 not found. We have to re-record this video? Is that what we got to do? Nope. Okay. We don't have to re-record the video. I was about to say. All right. So Nick Batum, let's see how they did with him animations-wise. So he's got Levine combo moves. Don't love that. Love Kemba escape. I actually have no idea what the Kyle Lowry size up is like. Now, I know most people are going to be like, well, this card is automatically dismissed because of his jumper. But here's the thing. He does have Nick Batum on very quick, and that might be absolutely horrible. But he also has the Pro 2 leaner, which means that you can create with him, you know, and I know it sounds ridiculous to only shoot leaners, but the truth of the matter is, if he has the ball in his hand most of the time, his diet of leaners actually goes way up, as opposed to being a 2 guard with a terrible release, right? So I actually don't necessarily, you know, take him out of it. Kyrie Irving moving step back, not great. Who's behind the back does he have? It looks like he has the Jamal Murray. Yeah, I mean, he looks good. He looks solid outside. I mean, again, jumper is an issue, but outside of that, he is a 6'8" point guard with some really good animations. Got to see what this Lowry size up is. I have no idea what that's like. And let's look at the attributes. So yeah, stats and badges look pretty good. Very, very solid across the board. Mid-90s everywhere. Nothing alarming. Definitely want to give him Midi Magician, especially with the Pro 2 leaner, since you're going to be a heavy diet of that. And I think with his shot, even if his shot is slow on a standstill, since it's on very quick with the Pro 2 leaner, the leaner should be good. And I would say I'm not writing this card off. I'm open to the idea that he could be very bad just because of the shot, but I'm not writing him off, especially since people like some of these, the Sohans of the world and stuff like that. I think that card doesn't do anything for you on the floor. So if you're down to run Sohan and Dyson Daniels and all of those guys, this card might be better as a pure, you know, gonna slash, gonna hit leaners, gonna defend, and maybe he's a little bit of a liability on the catch and shoot. Derek Fisher. He's 6'1", so there's not much to talk about. I just want to see what animations they gave him. Yeah, I mean, they gave him pretty great animations, to be fair. Really, really great animations. They basically gave him elite animations across the board. I don't think he'll be useful because 6'1" is just too small, right? I think when I say small point guards can play, I'm saying 6'4", even some 6'3s, depending on body type. Some 6'3s are way bigger than others. Like Westbrook is kind of massive. There's a few of those out there. I think Heinrich is like a really big 6'3". He's listed as 6'4". But 6'1" is just way too small. That's like troll size. And I think really what it comes down to is the shot contest system. It's just, you have to be super duper wide open if you're that small and you're shooting. And unless you have Patty Mills based on very quick and can literally play like a comp guard, I just don't know if it works. That having been said, across the board, fantastic SIGs from one Mr. Derek Fisher. Yeah, and he has a great crossover as well. Oh, this might be the John Wall crossover, actually. I see Julius Erving has it. I think it's the John Wall with Julius Erving. It's either John Wall or Kobe. Both are excellent, interchangeable, basically. Some people will say one's better than the other, but I think it's honestly just preference. All right. Mo Bamba. Very excited about Mo Bamba. He will probably be my starting center on the no money spent, except for the fact that he has an 88 strength. Ouch. That 88 strength is going to be tough just because he's going up against 99 strength. That's the main thing for me. He does have a solid jumper, and it's going to be on quick, very quick, I should say. So that's great. Jordan Poole combo moves might be decent. I think those might be okay. I know a lot of Jordan Poole's animations aren't very good, but Trey escape, mellow size up. Ooh, pro dribble style. I love that. That's fantastic. And I know you guys, the poor, unfortunate MyTeam community has been lied to all year. They've been telling you that the pro dribble style is not good, even though almost every 6'5", 6'6" guard in rec and pro-am use it, and the park use it. Yours truly included. It's fantastic. Normal leaner, which is fine. Pro hop jumper. I'm not sure about the pro 1 hop jumper. Got to take a look at that. Whose step back do you have? Chris Bosh doesn't, to my knowledge, have a good step back. I got to take a look at that. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be a strength of his. But that having been said, I mean, he's 7 feet tall. Let's look at his attributes. Let's see, he does have an 86 ball handle, which is great. Doesn't need a shoe. And I mean, 92 speed is solid. Could be a little better. I think the shooting is fine. I expect Mo Bamba to be solid. He doesn't look as impressive as I thought he would. 94 block, really nothing super duper high. Interior is 97. I'm a little nervous that he'll get dogged out by the like really physical cards, like your Wilt Chamberlains, and we're gonna get a new Wilt soon. Some people are gonna be running that SHAQ out there, and while SHAQ will be a liability from a shooting standpoint, I do think that, you know, SHAQ going to the basket and overpowering you could be an issue, although his rebounding looks good. We'll have to see. With centers, it's always weird because centers really have to perform in the rebounding, in the blocking shots, you know, rim protection kind of stuff for you to really know how good a center is. That's why I hold Wilt in such high regard, because Wilt just gets crazy animations on a very consistent basis. He seems to win almost every matchup in his favor, even to this very day. You know, I've gone up against really, really great centers and had Wilt hold his own. And I have Artis Gilmore as well as some other I don't have any of the like super elite bigs, but I've played against them. And the thing is, it's not like a guard where, well, maybe the other person is just not skilled. With a big, some of that stuff is RNG, right? It's like happening. You're not even controlling it. It's just the bots versus each other. And I'm very curious to see how this card holds up as a bot. That having been said, he needs a ton of badges. Challenger, absolutely necessary. Pick dodger, necessary. This is brutal. They gave him like no badges. Let's go to next gen, but the current gen. Yeah, but he needs challenger. He needs pick dodger. He needs handles for days. I would even say high efficiency, but then he needs open looks. He's going to need agent 3, Deadeye. I think you just got to punt on the finishing badges. Maybe pro touch if he has a good floater. What's his float package? Default big. Does have, I think, some good floaters in default big. But yeah, he's going to need a ton of badges to be viable. That having been said, you know, he's 7'10" wingspan at 7 feet tall. Mo Bamba, excellent frame. For the strength shoe, you're going to be at 92 strength. I do think those upper strength ratings are a big deal. And this is just across the board in the game. But for me, the cards that I look to are Ron Artest, Dennis Rodman, Bill Russell. If you have those cards, you know that those 99 defense ratings, and in the case of Bill Russell, also the 99 athleticism, it just makes a difference. You know, it makes a difference when the cards are at the upper ends. I think the 99 rating and the 98 rating are worth more than going from 91 to 92. I think there's a little jump at that upper edge of those ratings. So when a center can't get over 95 strength, I find that concerning. I do. But that said, he might play well. I mean, at the end of the day, that might only come down to a few possessions on the court. Now, if he's constantly getting dogged out, that could be a problem. But we'll see about Mr. Mo Bamba. Card art still not loaded in. My apologies, but I don't control that. I think you guys are cool if we just ignore this Trae Young card, right? He's 6'1", he's Trae Young. He's an absolute troll reward. We could make an entire rant video about how the rewards this season are a significant step back from last season. Not just Glenn Rice, but him versus Gilbert Arenas is a step back as well. And yeah, we don't love that. That having been said, we're going to keep it moving. Although you could argue that Jalen Rose is better than Dolph Chase. But anyhow, all right. So Michael Beasley, super duper, like, would be extremely excited to get this card, right? Would be extremely excited to get this card. So you see here, 92 strength. He has more strength than Mo Bamba at the 2 guard, right? 96 speed. You see the upper range of attributes. 98 driving dunk. Absolutely insane. And here we have absolutely fantastic on badges. He doesn't need any of these badges. Yeah, I would maybe box out Beast. If you're playing triple threat, I'd definitely give him box out Beast. But outside of that, this card is extremely complete, both stats wise and badge wise. And if you look at it, the only thing is keeping this guy from really being like almost 100 overall level are these fake attributes, right? Passing vision, intangibles, shot IQ, because all of his other stuff can be pushed mostly to 99 or 98 with a shoe. Outstanding look for him. Let's look at these animations. All right, Steve Francis, Kyrie Irving. This card is a god. Terrence Mann, Kobe Bryant, very quick. Absolutely outstanding. What was his other one? Did he have it on very quick or was it quick? Let me see. It was on quick before. It'll be on very quick now. I don't know how much the Terrence Mann base speeds up, but it is a fast base. And let's see that behind the back. Which behind the back? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. This guy is talking. 6'9", 7 feet. This is one of the best cards in the game, in my opinion. This guy looks incredible. He actually looks like super duper amazing. And they're trying to get you to pull. John Wall step back. John Wall crossover. This guy is basically perfect. Because even though this isn't, what do you call it? Patty base. See, the thing about patty base, and patty base is amazing, and it makes it very hard to contest jumpers fully. And I'm not saying this is as good. We're not doing that. However, the thing about this card at 6'9" with the Terrence Mann base, that base is so fast at his height that the effect is more similar than if you had like a 6'3" guard with patty base and a 6'3" guard with Terrence Mann base. Because the 6'3" guard is getting the nerf of their shots being contested, right? Whereas him at 6'9", his shot is hard to contest anyway, just because of his height. And at the 2-guard position, a lot of the best 2 guards in the game, in fact, all of them are shorter than him, right? Dr. J, 6'6", Ron Artest, 6'7", the new Ron Artest, 6'7", although the new Ron Artest is going to be absolutely incredible defensively. We know that. So is Dr. J for that matter. But, even Chris Middleton and, Brandon Roy, right? Like a lot of these, top tier, second tier shooting guards, third tier shooting guards are shorter than him. So when they're going to contest his shot, he has an advantage just off of that. And the fact that he has Kobe upper and Terrence Mann, man, I want this card so bad. I'm so mad that this is behind gambling. I literally would have paid $1 million MT for Michael Beasley just because I love the cards so much. All right, but we're not going to complain about that. We're going to go to De'Aaron Fox, actually. I'm really curious about De'Aaron Fox and what he's bringing to the table. Again, card art not loaded in yet. Hopefully it will be by the end of the video, but we're going to get this out to you guys bright and early so that you can make your decisions before these cards are actually in the market, right? Okay, so D-Fox. So we're going to go straight to the animations. Actually, hold on. Before we go to the animations, it is worth note, he only has a 92-3. Now, this is good enough to make threes at a high clip, but I will say you 100% want to put a shoe on him. However, with an 86 strength and a 92-3, he does wind up with a 96-3 and a 90 strength, which are really great attributes. And everything else is really, really high. Interior defense, you want to put that on there. And maybe a few other things defensively. But we know speed is 99s across the board. The card's going to be lightning fast. De'Aaron Fox cards are always super duper fast. Let's see about these animations. So the most important thing, behind the back. They gave it to him. Okay. So the main thing now is what is his base like on very quick? Because if this card can legitimately 3-hunt, he's got Pro 2 leaner, right? His own hop jumper, which I'm actually not familiar with. He does keep his own size up, his own breakdown moves, which are pretty good, actually. Great, in fact. Great breakdown moves. Kyrie Irving dribble style. Interesting, his base motion style. I don't consider that a major deal, but you might feel it a little bit on the card, but I don't know because his cards are always fast. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But yeah, I mean, he looks outstanding. Truly, truly outstanding for a small guard. I know the fact that he's 6'3", most people aren't going to use him. And the fact that he's 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan, also not great. Defensively, going to be an issue, especially with some of these super tall point guards out there. However, the way I look at it is like this. If you are skilled with this card and you can 3-hunt at a high clip, and you're going to be able to slash as well, offensively, you have an advantage based on the speed of the card. Because even with like this 99 speed and stuff like that, 6'7" with 99 speed is not the same as a 6'3" with 99 speed. 6'3s move faster. They move better, right? And they don't have the nerf of like the 6'1", where their body's just so small that it almost feels like you're ice skating uphill. You know what I mean? It's like Super Mario Brothers, like you got little tiny pitter-patter feet. You don't have that at 6'3". 6'3 and 6'4 are like the two perfect small heights where you move better than the taller cards, but you still don't feel like, I saw somebody was on the MyTeam Reddit, which I might start reacting to. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are interested in that. But they said they pulled the Dark Matter Chris Paul, and they said he looks like a garden gnome. Yo, Reddit is the worst place on earth, but sometimes it's the best place on earth. All right. But yeah, I'm excited about. I'm actually excited about the De'Aaron Fox. Now, part of that is yes, I'm a rec guard, right? I'm a pro-am part guard. So for me, this is an opportunity to be like, hey, is this a build that I can actually use the stick skill with and overcome? But that having been said, dude, if you play triple threat, there are plenty of people out there still using Steph Curry's and John Morant's and stuff like that. So it's not like past 2Ks where small guards are completely extinct. I understand. Listen, Beasley's so over the top great that the De'Aaron Fox feels more like a troll because he's way inferior to Michael Beasley. That having been said, do I think he could be a fun card in and of his own? I do. I think in his own right he could be a fun card. All right, Ron Artest. So you know what it is with the shot. Markelle Fultz base, Rudy Gay on very quick. Who knew that would be such a great shot combination? But it is. Ron Artest has been pretty perfect the whole time. In fact, we're going to just go ahead and compare and see what's different about Ron because everything looks the same. Again, Ron is still a top 5 2 guard to this very day, in my opinion. And one of the best players in 2K history. Splash agrees with me. Last I checked, I don't think anyone has come out outside of Glenn Rice to put Ron that far down the list. I still hold Ron over the Tracy McGrady's and Brandon Roy's and all of those guys easily. I think the only card that I truly put above him off the top of my head that I can think of until Beasley came out today was Dr. J. So let's see what's different about Ron. So a lot of post scoring stuff. Standing dunk is 10 higher. I don't think that actually makes a difference. And a big part of that is because at 6'7", the standing dunk quote unquote cheese starts at like 6'10". 6'9" and down, you're just doing standing dunks the same way a 6'6" guard would do it, which is you're beating people to the spot and going straight up. As we discussed earlier in the video, Ron was already pretty much 99 everything on defense. So I don't know how much you'll feel those plus ones because you could have put that on with a shoe. Same thing with the athleticism. This could have already been 99 pretty much across the board. And he was such a good card, it's pretty hard to improve on him, which we see here because I don't see any significant upgrades off that I can look at here. Yeah, I mean, he's the big difference being with a shoe, he can get 99 shooting. Okay, great. Animations wise, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just another chance to get Ron Artest. For real. Like, he gets, let's look at the next gen badges. Whoops, let's look at next gen badges. There we go. So let's see. He gets Spot Finder, which really is much more important in triple threat than anything. Triple threat co-op specifically. Float game, Giant Slayer, Mash. Okay, I'll talk about this real quick. So I was saying in the other video, the Giant Slayer is not that big of a deal on the card to like get the upgrade. I mean, mind you, you could have just put it on the card before, which is part of the reason I was saying that. But the other thing being that the reason Giant Slayer is not that big of a deal in my team, right, is number one, Ron is 6'7". Giant Slayer really has historically kicked in at a 3-inch difference. So it's when you're 6'7" going up against 6'9" cards. But the other thing is it kicks in on layup attempts. So a concept that I use when creating builds and talking, and the same thing applies to cards, is volume, right? What experiences are happening most often in the interaction of play? So Giant Slayer is as important as how often you do layups against taller cards. The nature of Ron Artest is that he's such a great shooter and such a great dunker and has a great leaner. You're shooting leaners, you're shooting 3-point shots, and when you're going to the basket, you're stick dunking. If you're not doing that, you need to improve as a player. I'm not saying the person who said this isn't doing that. What I'm saying is the amount of shots that you get going to the basket against a taller, player that are layups is going to be generally small. Now, on top of that, layups also have been changed this year from previous years. Previous years, layups weren't very good, so you needed something like Giant Slayer just to make it viable. Whereas this year, take it from a person who can do layups with a 66 layup in Rec and Pro-Am, right? If you are a little bit open for floaters and scoops, the green meter will be gigantic and Giant Slayer will have nothing to do with it. Giant Slayer is really going to be for non-scoop, maybe Euro steps. I don't even know what it's kicking in on and help, because the thing is layups are so tuned higher this year to be much more powerful, which I'm in favor of. No, by the way, they're so much more powerful this year that you don't need the help, right? That's the main thing. It's a similar thing would be talking about, say, Dimer as a badge. Dimer is a great badge early in the year when people don't have high shot ratings. When everyone has a 99.3, Dimer is now relegated to passing to someone doing moving shots. Because if you're passing to a catch and shoot shooter with a 99.3, if you miss that shot, I'm sorry, the badge had nothing to do with it, right? It wasn't because you had silver Dimer versus Hall of Fame Dimer. It's because you mistimed it. And the same thing is true of the layups. If you miss layups with Ron Artest, with Giant Slayer, without Giant Slayer, if you're missing a layup, either A, you took a bad layup, or B, you mistimed the layup that you took. Giant Slayer is not going to be the differentiating factor between you being successful with the card or not successful with the card. So yeah, sorry for that little rant, but these are informative. I'm an information-based channel, and I wanted to pass that information on because I thought that was a valid criticism, incorrect by my estimation, but still valid in the sense that it's not a terrible idea. It's just, I think it's not necessarily correct. No, Giant Slayer is not an important badge from Ron Artest. It is a nice to have, but of all of the badges you could possibly give him, that is not one of the badges. Okay, now that we've established that Ron, yay, card art's here, there we go. Now that we've established that Ron is basically identical, let's see what you would need to give. Space Creator 100%, because he has normal 2 hop jumper, which is fantastic, my favorite hop jumper in the game. And yeah, outside of that, I don't think anything else, although I would say these post badges, you might want to give him these post badges because since he doesn't need anything else and you tend not to be putting post badges on players, here's the argument for giving him post badges. Oh, 100% open looks. Dear God, give him open looks. But the thing about the post badges is if you play against a small guard in triple threat, specifically triple threat or triple threat co-op, and it's a Steph Curry or somebody like that, and it's the end of the possession and nothing else is happening, the post badges might bail you out of that possession. So we talk about edge cases here. That is an edge case. However, since he doesn't need anything else and you probably have a bajillion post badges, I think it's very viable because the only 2 badges you actually have to give him are open looks and Space Creator. And then everything else is just like spare badges you have lying around. So why not make him super perfect, right? But that having been said, I don't know on the court if this card is going to feel any different than his Opal, which is fine because his Opal feels absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so that is it for Mr. Ron Artest. Shout out to Ron. Love the card. And let's keep it moving. So we looked at DFS. We looked at Nick Batum. Not Clay yet. Draymond. That's what we got to look at. Draymond Green. All right, animation-wise, let's see what they gave him. So they gave him that Ja size up. They gave him a free Galaxy Opal size up. Ja size up isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's just not very good. It's just a little on the slow side. It's got a couple of animations that work, but overall, I'd prefer a better one. James Harden moving crossover, not my favorite. Jason Tatum step back. On last gen, this is fantastic. The problem is, I don't know if it's applicable to this card because he has his release, which is pretty bad. Hopefully on very quick, the release gets much more usable. That's what it comes down to with Mr. Green, is if the release becomes much more usable, then you're fine. But if the release still feels really bad, like say an Aaron Gordon does, then this card, in my opinion, is fairly cooked, although he will be really great at defense. The thing for me, the weight in the player build make him feel bigger than 6'6". 7'1" wingspan is also excellent, much bigger than most 6'6" cards. So I think he will be a better defender than most. But the problem is 6'6" is just not that big at the point guard these days. And you're not playing him at power forward. So you have to play him at point guard. Unfortunately, he doesn't have small forward eligibility. I think at 6'6" with his wingspan, he could theoretically survive because he's such a great defensive card. But yeah, I honestly, for me, I don't think there's a troll card in this collection because I think everybody's usable. And I think for some people's styles, some people are more usable than others because, quite frankly, whatever point guard he's defending, he can defend pretty much. I'd be curious to see his interactions with SHAQ on the perimeter. Like, is SHAQ just going to blow by him? Or can he just neutralize that SHAQ? I'm curious because, again, this year, smaller cards get much more stops against bigger cards, especially when they have big frames and, great wingspan and stuff like that. So yeah, you see here, defensively, I mean, he's up there, almost 99 overall across the board. He's going to have lock take. So you do anything on the court, this is all going to shoot up to 99 across the board. Yeah, I mean, what kind of leaner does he? I think he had normal leaner. Yeah, he's got normal leaner. The normal leaner might help him a little bit because of that very quick shot, and for that reason, you 100% want to give him that midi magician. So, all right. Yeah, so Draymond, he's probably, I'm going to say it a guess, besides the obvious Derek Fisher, he's probably the card that I would want the least because I'm curious about De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox might not be good. I'm curious to see if I could make him work and have him be a dynamic small point guard. But outside of that, I think the rest of the collection is pretty good. Let's look at Klay real quick and see what they did with Klay. First, let's go to the comparison. Klay Thompson, boom. All right, animation-wise, what changed? So he's up to Kyrie Irving dribble style from Steph Curry, massive upgrade. Jamal Murray signature size up to Steve Francis. Okay, most people will say this is a big upgrade. I actually really like the Jamal Murray size up a lot. Steve Francis is the best one, but I think stylistically, Jamal Murray provides you with a different approach that is viable, especially with the Kyrie Irving dribble style. Kyrie Irving dribble style changes everything about a size up. Let's see, Trey Escape, big upgrade. Combo moves, Tim Hardaway over LeBron James, massive upgrade there. De'Aaron Fox breakdown moves, that's the big W. Normally we don't talk about 100 overall cards, but here we are. John Wall size up. So yeah, this is a much, much better version of Klay Thompson. He is elevated from a good support card to a primary ball handler, and I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic. I still, believe it or not, at this moment, I still have him behind Ron Artest and Dr. J until further notice. And it really just comes down to size. And as a slasher, I need to see Ron Artest has the ghost like defensive stuff, and Dr. J has, it feels like Dr. J has ghost everything. Like that card just feels so incredible. Like as a ball handler, as a dunker, as a defender, the card is just a monster, right? He feels like he has something beyond Hall of Fame right stick ripper. Just really, really feels fantastic. That having been said, I think Klay is in that same conversation. I would be surprised if he was better than those cards. I wouldn't be surprised if he was slightly worse than those cards. But overall, I think he will probably fall into the realm of preference. That's where I think Dr. J, Klay, Ron Artest, all of those second tier cards are preference. And my guess right now is that Glenn Rice is obviously the top of the heap, and then Beasley is probably second. That is my guess based on the collections so far. Go back to the AfterSHAQ real quick. Is that everybody? That is everybody. Okay, AfterSHAQ done. You guys can see the card art here since it wasn't loaded up before. And now we're going to go back. And finally, look at all of these stupid SHAQ cards. Man, I hate this so much. Not going to complain. We're going to keep it on analysis. I'm just saying it once. I hate it. I hate it. I said it twice. I hate it. I said it 3 times. All right. So, Galaxy Opal SHAQ that you get from the packs. He is horrible. Rhyming accidentally. Gonna keep it moving. This SHAQ, 75 3-ball with his terrible shot. I don't love it. No shooting badges. Don't love it. And what position is this guy? Small forward. If you play this as small forward, good luck. Good luck. Really, just think about it like this. Are you playing any small forwards without good jumpers? That's the thing for me. Like, if I'm playing a small, because even like, say, a card like Dennis Rodman, I know this is going to sound crazy town, like 7'1" SHAQ versus 6'7" Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman defends out of his mind, and to me, his shot is just fine. It's not amazing, but his shot is fine. This SHAQ shot, this shot animation is downright prohibitive. Right now, I'm very quick. It should be better. It should be better. It should be usable. He does have Pro 2 leaner, but look at his attributes. 84 mid, 75 3. Those are not good shooting attributes either. So, when you look at the... I want to keep it to analysis. I'm sorry, guys. It's tough. It's tough. Let me see if we can see that card art on there real quick. There we go. But it's funny because the two things that we talked about, having a card that doesn't change positions well and having a card that the shot is changed for one, but then the rest of them have like the bad shot. Oof. All right, Shaq at shooting guard. Let's see. Is he all the same stuff? Same stats? Yes, same stats. 75 three ball. His shot just doesn't have a big enough green window for me to love that three ball. See, that's the thing about, like, say, Artis Gilmore. His shot is incredible. Incredible. It feels like it's an 85 3. It's only a 66 or whatever it is. It just feels way higher than that. I swear to you, I've probably missed 2 shots for Artis Gilmore since I've got the card when he launched. So all of these Shaqs are identical. Let's see what the 100 overall is looking like. Just for informational purposes, same thing. So still not. He's got Booker's eyes up, so he's not even moving as well. Although he does have Kyrie dribble style. Zach escape, not good. I'm honestly, I don't even think this is a good card. I said this when it dropped. I don't think he's that good of a card. I really don't. I don't think this is that good of a card, man. I think these Shaqs, GOAT Shaq is probably amazing because he's got Ben Shepherd base. So he's probably awesome. He's one of the best power forwards and maybe also one of the best centers in the game. But I do think Shaq is obviously big enough to play center. I think you can play center with a 6'10", 6'11" if they have the right wingspan and stats, which Shaq does as 7'1", 6'7". Although to me, he doesn't feel just as big as some cards. I feel like they struggle with his character model a little bit because Shaq in real life is massive. And he should be he's one of the biggest people to have ever played in the NBA. The only people who really look bigger than him are like Yao Ming. Wilt Chamberlain looks bigger than him. But, you see Shaq next to most people and he dwarfs them. And it just doesn't feel like that in the game. It just feels like so many people are much bigger than Shaq. That having been said, this GOAT Shaq, who is going to pop out for almost no one, looks really, really good. Really fantastic. They changed his release. But the rest of these Shaqs, to me, are not cards that I want to pull at all. I think he's usable at center. Flawed, usable. At this moment, now I haven't played these cards, but at this moment, I personally would much rather use Artis Gilmore, Galaxy Opal, Wilt Chamberlain, and possibly even Mo Bamba with his 88 strength over these Shaq cards, because I'd rather hit all of my threes and lose and get dogged out, 2, 3, 4 times in a game by this Shaq than win the inside battle most of the time. He's going to get occasionally, caught out there, right? Occasionally you're going to get an animation. You're going to go, what? He has 99 interior. Why didn't I get that rebound? That's going to happen, right? He's not going to win every single exchange on the inside. But when it comes to the shooting, Mo Bamba's going to win every exchange on the outside in terms of catching and shooting and closing out to this Mo Bamba. You're going to be much more successful. Am I saying he's outright better? No, until I use the card. Can't say that for sure. Maybe this Shaq is so amazing on the interior that I would change my mind, the way I give a bias to Wilt for the same reason. But as it is right now, these guys are literally just blocking your blessings from getting one of these, particularly these 2 fantastic dark matters. These 2 fantastic dark matters are in jail behind Shaquille, literally a big body blocking the paint. I do think this De'Aaron Fox will be fun and usable and good. And Draymond will be a utilitarian card that, if his shot is a little better, could make it that, for me, all of these dark matters are actually not only usable, 2 of them are 2 of the best cards in the game, and 2 of them are just fine and could make your collection better if you are on the struggle bus at that position, which you shouldn't be, because we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last season and he is hands down better than both of these cards. All right, that is it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this extensive breakdown of 1,400 Shaqs and a decent collection from today. Thank you all so much for your support. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.